be unofficial and just talk about stuff.
Are we recording?
Yeah, we're starting.
Oh, so this is podcast number
17
yeah,
or 6 in actuality.
I think we're 6.
Yeah,
That is Bill.
that's Eric.
We're Unguarded Moments.
And we're just talking, shooting the crap, and how we find music.
Yeah,
What's the best way to find local music? What's the best way to find new music? And this is all off the cuff. We have not prepared anything. We're just shooting the shit today.
it's a Sunday afternoon
Mm-hmm.
after Thanksgiving, before Christmas.
Remember what we talked about earlier, Eric? Just talk to me.
Yeah,
The other
it's-
people are there. Just talk to me. Don't worry about it.
Well,
Some of the feedback from the 4 people who are not related to us have said, you are far too radio professional,
yeah,
and I am far too laid back, intense jackass.
I think that was a Robitussin, I think, the other day.
It was definitely the Robitussin the other day. Podcast number 5.
We've all been
so-
dealing with
Yeah.
sickness.
Look at me.
Um,
So when you go to find, let's say you heard a song by 6 and the Sevens, because you went and saw them live in Hamtramck 4 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever it was. How do you find other music that's like that? And 6
Well-
and the Sevens was a local band that we both liked and enjoyed.
I track a lot of stuff on the internet through Bands in Town is one of them, bandsintown.com,
Okay.
Ticketmaster, and there's another one I use. And also the way I got started doing it, actually. 6 and 7 is a little bit more local, but if I'm looking for more national type bands or global bands, I was going to Amazon and I would type in a band that I liked or that was similar. The nice
Right.
thing about Amazon was they'd always give you,
People who bought this
Exactly.
also bought that.
and it really creates a, like, call it an artery
Mhm.
to all kinds of other music that it's sometimes really hard to find. You know?
I spend a lot of time on NPR because I like the local stuff.
Did you see what I sent you the other day?
I saw that you sent me that. I did not get to open it up and look at it.
It was just a picture. So I sent you, I was driving whatever day it was, Saturday, yesterday.
Yeah.
And Ann DeLisi was on, and it was
She's
called
amazing.
Essential Music or something, or
Oh, yeah.
Essentials, Music Essentials.
She's amazing.
And she was playing, it was great. She was playing all kinds of different music, and she played a cover by Tom Waits sung by Bob Seger. And it was 30-06.
That would be
Yeah,
amazing.
which I'll look it up. It was actually Bob Seger, I think, does it better than Tom Waits. But that's why I took a picture of it. So, as a reference to if you got time and you're driving around, you think about it, turn it on next Saturday and see what you think about the
Yeah.
program.
Well, Ann DeLisi is she's a pillar of the community when it comes to music.
Yes.
She's been around forever. And I think she must have started when she was 6.
Yeah.
Because I remember listening to her. If Ann DeLisi is 32 years old, I'm 120.
Yeah. She's got a beautiful voice. I wonder, she's
She's
great
just-
at the radio.
She's just stellar.
Yeah.
I'd love to meet her one day and talk to her about
No.
Detroit
I'm
music.
going to find out more about her.
Yeah, but these are some of the shows that we like to listen to and pick up stuff and go, all right, well, I like this guy, and here's someone similar. And I'm always going to bring it back to the Hamtramck Music Festival, which is a great way to get into the local bands.
Yeah.
And that's an annual festival in March, and they'll have 120.
We got to prepare for that, Bill.
Yeah,
We
we've
got a lot of
got
prep work to do.
we've got a lot of prep work to do. There's going to be some band interviews being done by us because I know some people involved. I've mentioned this before, but we're gonna sit down and talk with some of these bands and just have a good time and shoot the crap with them
Yeah.
and see if we can drum up some more interest, because the show is great.
Yep.
It's a fun festival of 4 days of just rock and roll music and all sorts of different crazy stuff.
And if you listen to our podcast, you can find the common denominator has been the Hamtramck Music Festival, because it is a great source of local music. It's you can find anything. You can find anything from folk to metal to whatever's out there.
Good old fashioned rock and roll, a
Yeah.
little bit of rockabilly in there too.
Yep.
It's just a fun show, and you can You buy a ticket and it gets you everywhere for the whole time. And
Hopefully the weather's better this year.
yeah, oh God,
Man, it was cold last year.
cold and rainy, but it's worth every minute of walking around in the
Yeah,
rain.
I don't think I dressed appropriately last year.
No,
I was fleeced out.
you were totally. That's a whole nother story. But
ton of Polish beer too.
oh yeah,
Remember the name of that beer we were drinking?
Zwybex.
I don't know, something like that. It's good beer, actually.
Zybis something or another starts with a Z.
ZY something.
Yeah, just great stuff.
But
so that's
let's get back to how we search for our music.
Right.
You guys have good understanding our passion with Hamtramck Music Festival. We'll continue to talk about that, and
right.
as we get closer to this show, we'll get you some more details. And
I found a couple of places on YouTube because I sit at a desk all day and I put my headphones on and I do my work and I can listen to music all day. And I found a couple of these guys that just do these 2-hour bits of music, and it's just song after song after song, and it's 80s this or 90s this or whatever is their little theme, and they come up with these songs that are like, oh, I barely remember hearing that one time on the radio.
Yeah.
What's the name of that? And then I can see the name and I pull it up. I'm buying it.
Yeah.
Or something. And there's YouTube is a great source for a lot of that stuff.
It's funny when I talk to people about how I'm a YouTube junkie, they laugh at me like, oh, YouTube. I'm like, YouTube is a great source. It's got everything you want on there.
Right.
Hard to find stuff, hard to find shows that are live from 20, 30 years ago that somebody recorded off, an old recorder,
Well, and you and I were talking earlier. I found a couple of Johnny Marr interviews from maybe 10 years ago. Him talking about being with the Smiths and working with Patti Smythe and a bunch of others, and all the different things that he's done and touched all these different bands with electronic and whatever. He worked with a couple of the guys from New Order, and just going through all this stuff. And you hear this and you're like, oh, wait, he mentioned that song there. Oh, I want to find, and it's these little tidbits that are thrown out in these interviews, which are fun to listen to. I was listening to the Peter Hook interviews from like 2012, when he's going through the whole, I don't even know if it's still going on, but there's this whole thing with New Order with how they're having a problem with rights or whatever, and he was all sad about that, but just talking about how they came about working on the albums and how when he was with Joy Division, Unknown Pleasures was a 6-day recording. And then their most recent New Order album that came out before all the crazy shit happened with them took like 3 months.
Yeah.
And it was like, the better somehow it was concentrated and better, and then the longer it took, it just became diluted and horrible.
Right.
And I don't know when the last, I think Low Life was the last New Order album that I really liked.
I didn't realize how much New Order I actually like.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
I never really bought any of their stuff, but
I got
got some good stuff out there.
Yeah.
I
So
might have to get a copy of New Order from you.
oh
What you
well, I've got anything that's worth anything. I've got it. But so that's just a quick little touch on finding music. You got to go out there and look and see what you like, and you find a couple things that you like, and YouTube has a way of recommending the next song.
Now, are you a Pitchfork guy at all? Do you Pitchfork is an online music, kind of, it's all about music news. I'm not on it too much, but it's kind of like your Rolling Stone. It talks about all kinds of new music coming up, the albums, reviews on the albums.
Never heard of it.
It's something. Pitchfork's been around for a long time. I'm guessing probably 20 years plus.
Really?
My buddy Jason told me about it years ago. I never think about getting on it and reading it, but
but it's a reading thing as opposed to listening.
yeah, it's all they do reviews on albums and stuff, and
Online reviews.
Yeah, talk about new bands and whatnot.
Of bands. Yeah, never heard of it.
Yeah, look it up.
What's the one that I told you about that I really like? Audio Tree out of Chicago.
Yeah.
they do a lot of the types of interviews that I would really like to get into doing, which is, have the band show up with some instruments, play a couple songs, ask them some questions, have them play another song, ask some more questions, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Audiotree has been around for quite a while, and they've done a lot of good local bands, some relatively famous bands, and my hand grenades were on Audiotree, and it was a great show. Shaky Graves.
Yeah, yeah.
And but again, it's what you like. But Audiotree has interviewed and has the songs for a bunch of different types of music.
Right, right.
And these are just different various things that you can go and check out. But I would like us to do something like that with Audiotree, a similar type show, not like be our base show.
Sure.
But like we break out and do, hey, we're interviewing this band, and we have, because a guy. Tell us about that guy.
What guy? What guy are we talking about? Talking about the Plymouth Rock
studio.
Recording Studio?
Yeah, the studio.
Yeah, I know a guy over there, part owner. I'm part of the Rotary International, and so is he. And I sit at the same table. We have some mutual friends. And got into a conversation with him. And
what's the name of the place again?
Plymouth Rock Recording Studio, right in downtown Plymouth, Old Village.
Okay.
I don't know the address, but it's off of
Doesn't
Holbrook.
Right around the corner.
Yeah, it's literally probably, for you, Bill, probably a driver, but I could probably hit the church with a 5-iron. But it's an old church turned into a recording studio. They do a lot of work with the local schools for different things. But they've been around for a while. But in the future, he's going to allow us to use his studio for our podcasts.
Which is
and
great.
Also, for any kind of future bands that might need
more space.
Yeah, more space or somebody to record with.
And and that's the thing is I'd like to do some kind of like a video recording of us interviewing these bands as the Hamtramck Music Festival comes up, so that people can watch our show,
right,
and then tag into the Hamtramck Music Festival website and go, all right, well, they have links to their studio edits or their videos for each of these. A number of the bands will have stuff like links to that through the website for Hamtramck Music Festival, but we could also help promote these bands too by saying, hey, we just sat down and talked to them, and these guys are great. The music was fun, this, that, and the other. They really enjoy playing, or whatever their situation is.
Right.
And then we can promote the heck out of them.
Sure. And I think, as Unguarded Moments grows and matures a little bit, we are moving towards video.
Yeah.
If you look at our podcasts on YouTube right now, they're a little bit raw, a little bit unpolished, but that's us. And I think once we once we kind of learn more about what we're doing, we're going to introduce video, and hopefully, I don't know, maybe just after the first of the year, once we get the video going, we'll show you some clips of some of the music that we listen to, maybe some old 6 and 7s, maybe some of the music we've been talking about.
Yeah.
Show you on
once we actually get into understanding the technology that we have access to.
GarageBand is more clunky than I ever thought.
Yeah, well, and we'll figure
Maybe it's
something
just
out.
our age.
There's a crap load of videos and stuff we have access to from a lot of these old bands that we like that either don't exist anymore, or a couple of guys from this band went to this band, and there's a whole Detroit music history of guys going from band to band and just making some great music. But we'll throw some of those videos on, a little clip of this, a little clip of that, try and promote something. The whole point of we love music. We've said this 1,000 times. We'll say it 1,000 times more. We love music.
We won't stop saying it.
We enjoy the heck out of it. And we just want to share our love for music with other people. And, these guys are amazing artists and talented people, and they just need to there are some that just need to have 1,000 people sit and hear them and go, holy crap, and then sell 1,000 CDs.
Sure.
Because these guys are there's so much talent here.
I think between Bill and myself, I think we've probably seen 200 or 300 shows, but we've got some more shows coming up that we're going to.
Yeah.
Dead Can Dance is one of them.
Right.
I kept them on Bands in Town and Ticketmaster. And basically, you go to Ticketmaster or any of these websites and type in alerts for the bands that you're looking for. And it just so happened that Dead Can Dance popped up, and I've been watching for them for years. If you guys don't know anything about Dead Can Dance, if there's any reason to see them, it is Lisa Gerrard's voice is incredible. And I think that's probably 80% of the reason why I'm going. They're a very talented band.
Scintillating.
Yeah,
That's the word that comes to my mind.
Yeah, it will it'll raise your hairs on your arm, and it will
it's almost
push you back in your seat. Yeah,
almost spooky.
Yeah, I think she's born in I think she's Australian, and she is classically trained in Middle Eastern, if I'm not mistaken. But we've got nearly front row for them, and you can thank me for that, Bill. But and we're also going to see, I think we're going to see Rhythm Corps. Detroit local band from 20, 30 years ago.
1983, Rhythm Corps Paquet de Cinq, a 4-song album, which I own on vinyl.
I didn't know you owned that one.
Oh, yeah, it's amazing. And they've done a number of, they've got a song, Solidarity. And they've got a number of versions of that have come out since. But it's just good rock and roll.
Yeah. They're going to be at St. Andrews on December 28th. So still tickets available. I think we still need to get tickets. But I think I know about a dozen guys that are going. But
yeah, we'll be there, and if you actually hear this before December 28th, which is less than 20 days from now.
Yeah, we should probably get tickets.
Yeah, we should figure that out. And that's us being organized, right?
Yeah, exactly. And the other one, too, is I've got an alert out for, and I've already seen them, but I will drag Bill no matter what, is Camper Van Beethoven is touring right now, and they've got shows right now in Cleveland and Chicago with about a 4-day lull in between. So I think they're trying to find a date and a place in Detroit, hit Detroit in between. That's what I'm hoping for. But I don't know if anybody knows anything about Camper Van Beethoven or Cracker, which is David Lowery's second band. They are incredible to see in concert.
But Camper Van Beethoven, I saw them open up for Hoodoo Gurus.
I didn't know you saw them.
In Ann Arbor, probably after their second album. And Hoodoo Gurus was great, too.
Yeah.
That was a great show. But Camper Van Beethoven is just fun.
Where the hell is Bill?
That's my
Bill's
song.
Bill's right here, but
I am right here.
Bill's song.
That's my song, man. And I could tell you about having that as my answering machine message when I was in college.
Yeah. What a great band! They're kind of a ska band. They're kind of they wrote music their own way, and they're a little bit different than anything that you've ever heard, but definitely very entertaining. Last time I saw them was at Royal Oak Music Theater, probably, I'm guessing 20 years ago, maybe 15.
They're along the lines of, or came out at the same time roughly as They Might Be Giants, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they've been around since the early 80s.
Yeah.
They've been around for a while.
They Might Be Giants came out a little later, but it's that same type of just really creative and fun and just off the wall type music.
Yeah.
Just like, really, you're singing about that?
Take the Skinheads Bowling?
Yeah, you're singing about that?
Yeah.
You could make a song about that?
It's funny, I looked up the video on Take the Skinheads Bowling, I think we could do a better job.
Probably.
Yeah. But
today with GarageBand.
Yeah, right.
And no video.
It's pretty cheesy.
But still, cheesy or not, the music is fun.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's the whole, again, it goes back to the whole part of the whole point of our podcast is to be silly and have fun. Enjoy the music for what it is. It doesn't have to be political. It doesn't have to give a message. Just go and enjoy it.
One of the bands that we missed is Johnny Marr. I think your brother went and saw him and said he put on a good show.
Yeah.
I regret missing him, but I'm definitely, next time he comes around, I'm hoping next year or so, in a year or two, we'll have to go see him. But Johnny Marr is somebody I want to see. We're going to go see Dead Can Dance, Rhythm Corps, hopefully Camper Van Beethoven. For anybody that hasn't heard of Camper Van Beethoven, listen to them. Freelance Side Victory was one of their great albums. I think there's 25 songs on there, but kind of quirky.
And their songs are like a minute and a half.
Yeah.
It's just like ridiculous. Some of them are, 3 minutes, and they barely got any radio play. But it
Yeah,
was just
probably
it was
not
just
so
fun
none.
stuff. You know who I'd like to see if they ever come back is the Romantics.
Yeah, somebody I told you I some friends of mine owned a building here in Plymouth,
Yeah,
and
you talked about
they
this
were
before.
renovating the owners. Long story short, they bought the building and then they sold it to somebody else, and the people that bought it were renovating the building, and they had some HVAC work done, some heating and cooling work done. And they got into a conversation with one of the guys, and it just happened to be that one of the guys was a member of the Romantics. He was
Yeah.
the drummer.
Yeah,
And
Jimmy
he'd
Moran
said
was-
that, yeah, they'd sold all the rights to their music to somebody. I don't know the story behind
That's
that.
too
but-
bad.
yeah, but I don't know if they can
It's
actually
just
perform
great
it or not.
fun stuff.
Yeah,
And it's too bad. I don't want to get into the whole political thing about losing the rights to music and all that stuff. You know, Prince was a genius when it came to keeping
yeah,
the rights to his music.
yeah,
Sadly, the whole Beatles catalog purchased by what's his face.
Michael Jackson.
Yes.
Yep.
But again, it goes down to the creators are the ones who should be getting the benefit.
Well, let's talk about this. Back in the day, Bill and I are in our, we're kind of 50 age, and back in the day, there was probably 4 or 5 major recording labels that would pick up most of the bands out there. But
Yeah.
today, with Amazon, Spotify, all the online pay per month.
Your iTunes stuff.
Yeah,
this, that, and
iTunes. I
that.
think iTunes is gone now or close to. I'm not sure what's going
Whatever.
on with that, but
I don't know.
Apple Radio. It's allowing all these small bands and local bands to get airplay, and I think it's brilliant. I think that
And they
it's the
should
way it
they
should be.
They should keep the money
Yeah,
because the creators should make the money. And I understand the whole record label footing the bill for the travel and the
Yeah.
concerts and the this and the that and making the records and doing all that stuff. But when it comes down to it, these are the guys that are making the music.
yeah,
They're creating the mood. They're creating it. This is their flesh and blood they're pouring out to us,
it's
and it should be appreciated and paid for by every one of us.
yeah,
And the money should go to them.
yeah,
And again, that's why I like the local scene, because that is a bunch of local guys getting together and playing music in some little local bar, and they split some money with the bar or whatever they get. I don't know how all that works,
it puts
but
the art back into the music,
and that's the thing is the art
or
needs to
keeps
be in
the
the
art
music,
back in the music.
and that is what I like the best.
It's unfortunate that some of these guys get under contract with these major labels, and their first 2 albums are great, and their third, fourth, and fifth isn't so great because they're under pressure to
right.
put out albums. And
You
how many
gotta-
bands can you say that that have put out 5 or 6, 7 good albums?
Right. You got your national, your REM, your
Yeah,
Rolling Stones, your Beatles, and the Beatles actually owned their own label, and that was helpful for them.
yeah.
But it's I don't know. We could go on for days on this whole story.
Yeah. No, I'm
But,
glad to see that. I mean, I guess it's funny looking back at probably 20 years ago. I used to walk around Ann Arbor, Michigan, and duck in and out of all the record stores, School Kid Records and Discount Records. And you
Yeah.
used to flip and go through your CDs and I'll say CDs, but I can remember going flipping through albums.
Right.
And you'd go and buy an album. There might be 2, 3 good songs on it, and that's all it was. But
Sometimes, and there were. I used to go to Harmony House around the corner when I was 14 years old, and drop $30-$40 and get 6 or 7 albums, and then if I buy one album and it's got 3 good songs on it
yeah,
for $7, that was a good investment
yeah,
because those were the 3 good songs.
yeah,
And then I'll go back to Pack to Sink with Rhythm Corps. 4 songs,
yeah,
great songs.
yeah,
Figures on a Beach.
yeah,
They had a 5-song EP that they put out back in '83, '84, and I bought that going. I barely heard of them,
Right.
But I'm like, this looks kind of cool. Let's see what it. All 5 songs are awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, oh, how does this happen?
Remember back in the day when U2 came out with Joshua Tree?
Oh yeah,
I think every single song on there was brilliant, and
yeah.
that was an album that you didn't hear that off albums where almost every single song was.
But see, I was a fan
hit.
of U2 from War.
Yeah, yeah,
And I liked all of their stuff, even the 12-inch versions that they did of these songs.
right.
I thought were just brilliant. And it was just one of. Again, you pick up the album and you go, "Oh, this is a great song. This is great," but they'll only play like 3 of them on the radio,
Right.
and then you listen to the rest of them, like, "Wow, this should be on the radio. This should be on," but it's not.
Yeah. I was just playing somebody not too long ago. I'm a big Queen fan, and I was playing News of the World, which was like their 3rd or 4th album. I don't remember exactly, but
Right.
there were a couple of hits off News of the World. But if you listen to the rest of their songs on that, they're all very different,
Yeah.
but they're all worth listening to. They just never
yeah.
hit the radio, and I still listen to those guys today. I pick up that album and put it on.
Yeah.
It's music that's lost out there that needs to be brought back and listened to.
Yeah.
Promote it a little bit.
Eric, I've had a blast.
I had a blast too, Bill.
I bet I had more fun than you.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, well, whatever. All right. Well, we're gonna close it up, and we'll talk again soon.
Yeah.
And
Look for us. We're gonna be doing podcast number 30 or no
7,
7,
8, 12, whatever.
I think we're on 7.
Whatever.
We're gonna be doing videos soon, which is gonna be even more entertaining.
A lot of interviews coming soon.
Yes.
We got a lot of good stuff coming. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be great.
If you got any suggestions, call into our 1-800 hotline if you have the number. We don't have a number yet.
We don't have that.
No, but once we do, you can call in and talk to us direct if you'd like.
Or just see
Or
us at the
email.
shows.
Yeah, come see us at the shows.
It's-
You can't miss us. Bill's usually in a flannel, and I'm sometimes in a flannel too. So I don't know.
I got the cool Duber hat guy thing.
Yeah, the Duber hat guy thing.
I don't even know what the hell that thing's
Yeah,
called.
but look for us, and we'll see you guys out there.
Rock on, baby.